Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Office Bloke Aidan.
Just the two of us again today, Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again is on an extended weekend.
She
was in today and she's gone home. She's gone shopping.
Oh, nice.
for your brother's wedding.
Nice.
So she needs to get a wedding dress.
Nice.
So so why do Europeans hate living in America so much?
I don't really see how that could be a thing.
You don't have to live there.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If you hate living there, why would you move there or live there and stay there?
There's a few countries around the world where I'd like to go and retire to and live. Once you and your brother are all up and running, set up and everything, and doing your own things.
Right.
And I'm ready to just sit down and play golf and go to the bar every day.
Yep.
Yep. And one of them is America.
Nice.
The United States of America, to be precise. For all those people going, America's not just USA. Yeah, it's South America as well. Some places in South, like Argentina, Brazil. But Canada. Yeah. Why do Europeans hate living in America so much? Let's see what it's about.
Since the 1700s, Europeans have been coming to the Americas en masse. That's starting to slow down. Why, you ask? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. I ran a survey asking foreigners to the US, would they want to live in the United States? If they said no, there was a follow-up question of why. I listed 50 different things that are most commonly talked about as negatives to the United States. And before you do, stop typing. Every country, every state, every small town, every village, every neighborhood has some negatives. Nothing's perfect. So this video is based on their responses. Now about the survey, I had a few answers from Africa and not many from Asia. Europe and South America gave the only decent amount of replies. Europe gave about 2,700 replies and South America gave a little over 2,100 replies. I got about 400 from Central America. So today we're looking at the European results to find out why Europeans won't move to the United States. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look.
Good.
Number 10, racial tensions. Yeah, we've always had racial tensions, and really every country on the planet has racial tensions. The difference is we have ours on blast in the media every single day. Each political faction in the United States blaming the other faction for it. But the US has a complex history of racial tensions and inequality, perceived differently by Europeans who may not fully understand the social dynamics and historical context that we have here in the United States. Now, this can contribute to their concerns about discrimination and social cohesion. Side note, cohesion is one of my favorite words. One man named Gerald from Suffolk, which is in England, said he lived in Virginia for 2 years for a job. His wife is a very dark-skinned Indian, and he said she was treated very poorly. Actually, his exact phrase was, like a poor chimney sweep. Not totally sure what that is. Racial tensions got 111 votes.
Interesting that racial tensions. It's we've lived in countries, haven't we, where it's we've been minorities or and it's I've never really sort of like.
I guess it's probably in that country, probably in the USA, it probably is because of how diverse it is.
Yeah.
Other countries aren't that diverse.
Don't know. Somehow.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I mean, the UK is.
I reckon the USA is probably the most diverse.
Yeah,
right?
probably. You're probably right. Yeah.
Number 9, access to public transportation. Now, it's no secret that Europe has a much better public transportation system than here in the US. We've made great strides over the last couple decades, but we still lag far behind Europe, and this seems to bother them quite a bit. They aren't as obsessed with driving and owning a car as we are here in the United States. The United States is a car culture. They do make some amazing automobiles in Europe, they're just not on board with it as much as we are. But European cities often have well-developed public transportation system, making car ownership optional for many residents, where we basically rely on it. There are a few cities in the United States where they have decent public transportation and you could pretty much live there without owning a car. New York City's a perfect example. Portland is pretty good in that respect. Same thing with Chicago. Seattle has a solid public transportation system. One man said Ireland's public transportation is better than the United States, and Ireland's is shit. Access to public transportation got 112 votes.
Strange. I think you can change people's minds. If someone said, do you want to live in the USA? And you go, no, because access to public transport isn't great. And you say, but I'll pay you twice what you're getting paid now and three times what you're getting paid now. People will forget about that.
Yeah, I guess it's like that only really matters if you're living out in like not in the big city as well, really, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And tourists probably don't usually do that. I reckon like when people come from different countries, they go to big cities and then public
you do,
transport.
you're right.
Probably
But I like to get in a car and drive.
Yeah, same. Like not having a car for me would be like I would have to have a car because you never know what could happen, and you don't want to rely on buses and that.
No, I don't want to rely on public transport. No. The IRS.
Number 8, the IRS. Yeah, believe it or not, the IRS was a big complaint by foreigners, and they had a lot to say about it. This one, I think, got the most comments out of all of them. Obviously, it didn't get the most votes. Here it is at number 8 instead of number 1, but the comments were definitely against the IRS and our tax system. A lot of the countries said that they don't have to file taxes. It's taken out of their checks automatically, and there's no, tax day in their country. But a lot of them mentioned how much paperwork there was, and it was mind-blowing. One person said, and I kind of looked it up, and I found some facts about it, or just some things to support it, but it said the IRS is so much of a pain that American citizens are often denied banking facilities in Asia. Now, don't hold me to that. That's just what one person said. I saw a couple things online about it. I don't know much about that one, but I thought that was strange. If anyone has more information on it, let me know in the comment section below. I mean, everyone in the United States hates the IRS, but now Europeans are hating it too. One man said, I haven't been to the US in 15 years. When I think about the 3 times I had to fill out tax forms, he called it the Americas, he said I get pissed. Taxes in the IRS got 127 votes.
Strange one, that.
I know, right?
Number 7, work-life balance. I also put free time on there because a lot of people don't understand it as work-life balance in other countries. They call it their free time or their vacation time, different things like that. Anyway, many European countries prioritize work-life balance with shorter work hours, generous vacation time, and strong labor protections. In contrast, the United States is known for longer work hours, fewer vacation days, and a culture that often prioritizes work over personal time. And that's true to a degree. I mean, all of us know that we have a pretty crappy work-life balance here in the United States. Now, there are other countries, especially in Asia, that are far worse than us here in the US, but they're comparing Europe to the United States, not Asia. So that's where a lot of these responses came from. One man said, my wife made us come back to Switzerland because she said she started to forget what I look like. One lady, I'm assuming she was a lady, but she said, 1 week I saw the Uber Eats guy more than my boyfriend. So we came back to London. Work-life balance or free time got 130 votes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I can see why people would do that.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't get as much holiday time or vacation time.
Yeah.
We get standard like 4 weeks over here, paid.
How much did they get over there? Do you know?
From what I remember like, I think you can get time off. You obviously have holidays and vacations, but I don't think all companies pay vacation.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. I'm not sure if it's a legal thing over there. Yeah, you'll have to let us know in the comments on that one. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Number 6, the healthcare system. It's pretty bad that used car lots have a better reputation than the healthcare system here in the United States. Everybody knows if you go to a hospital or you have a doctor's appointment, you're gonna get ripped off. At a used car lot, 50-50 chance you're getting ripped off. One man said while living in Miami, he was playing a soccer game, or football, he said, and he blew out his knee. He could walk, but it needed to be operated on. And he said it was far cheaper to fly back to the UK, rent an Airbnb, get surgery, recover for 3 days in an Airbnb, and fly back to the US. On a personal note, not in the survey, but I knew a girl that she was a San Diego sheriff. I went to school with her. She's retired now, but her father was older. He was actually a Los Angeles County sheriff. His medication as he got older was so expensive, she actually sold their house down there and she quit her job and moved up to Washington so she could go across the border into Canada and get his medication for 1/10 the price. I had a long conversation with her about it. It was sad. This was a handful of years back when it was next to impossible to have your medication sent from Canada to here in the United States. This one, though, should be no surprise to any American. We all know that our healthcare system is crazy expensive and complicated. It's good, and you get good results, but it's too expensive for most Americans to actually afford. And
you won't really know how much a prescription costs over here because you probably don't have any prescribed medicine.
For what though? Depends what it is, right?
No, it's a flat fee. So it's if you get prescribed from the doctor, so like if you give whatever tablets or whatever medication they give you, when you go to the chemist to pick it up, it's a flat fee of like £9.70, I think it is now, for one item per item.
And how often or how many items is there?
Well, it depends what you get prescribed. So if they might prescribe you with, something for, rheumatism or something like arthritis, to make the pain go away. So you have to take a tablet every day.
Yeah.
And every month you go back and get a repeat prescription or whatever. And they charge you £9.72 or whatever it is, £9 something per item. So if you got one box of tablets, £9.70.
Yeah.
And if you get 2 boxes, obviously 20 quid, you know, whatever it is. But I have 5 different tablets that I have to take every month. But what I do, I'm on a payment scheme.
Like...
No, I don't pay it. I pay like, I do pay, but I'm not like a membership scheme. So what I do is I pay...
that much of a regular.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I pay like a flat fee.
50 years, this guy.
He's still alive. I can't believe he's still alive. Yeah. But it's like, I think I pay like 120 quid a year. And I get it. It's everything. Yeah.
So I would have expected it to be more than that.
Yeah, that's what I pay per year. I can't remember the exact fee, but it's something like that.
No.
Europeans know this, and it kind of stops a lot of them from coming here. In 2022, they did a study where they figured out the per capita healthcare expenditure by developed countries. Down towards the bottom, you had Mexico with about $1,100 a year, Brazil, $1,500 a year. You get up to Poland, it's about $2,900 a year. Spain was $4,400 a year. Korea is about $4,500 a year. UK is about $5,400 a year. Denmark, you get all the way up into $6,270 a year. Australia's $6,596. Switzerland is $8,000. The U.S. is the absolute most expensive, $12,555.
Crazy,
That's
man.
per capita healthcare expenditure. A lot of the countries well below us have better results than we do here in the United States when it comes to our healthcare. Healthcare got 132 votes. Number 5, education costs. Yeah, a lot of countries in Europe, the education's really inexpensive.
Just get a scholarship, man.
Pick one out of the tree.
That's it.
When you compare it to the United States. Now, if you just look at public colleges, it's about $8,000 here in the United States on average. If you include the private colleges, it gets up to about $14,000. The United Kingdom is really close to what we got going on in the United States as far as cost goes. But other developed countries, it's a different story. Take a look at Japan, $5,228 a year. Canada's a little bit lower than that with $4,900 a year. You go to Australia, $4,700 a year. The Netherlands is $2,400 a year. Switzerland, $1,100 a year. France, $217. Germany, it's all free. No tuition. That's not even counting like your housing and all that stuff. One guy from Poland said he'd looked into coming to the United States, but it was far too expensive. I think he should have come to the United States because he had like 5 misspelled words. I don't know what's going on in the Poland school system, but never has 2 E's in it. 140 people voted for...
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not his first language.
That's
he's probably
also
writing
true,
Polish.
isn't it?
education cost. Number 4, political climate. Yes, it's not just a nightmare here in the United States. Our political climate is known throughout the world as a total mess right now. We have Americans at each other's throats over politics, which should not be a thing. Each side of the political spectrum, the politicians are convincing...
That's something I never talk about, politics, because I don't know anything about it, and I don't know who I'm talking to, especially if they would completely disagree with something I'd said, and you know what I mean?
I went to the barber shop around the corner here the other day, and he never speaks to me very well. He's not English. Yeah. And he said to me the other day, it was election day, and he said, who do you vote for? I went, I'm not asked, mate. I don't want to talk about politics. I really don't give a shit. I said they're all bad, and I like having a conversation with politicians to see what they're doing, what the manifesto is, what they're discussing, what the policies are, and they never have the right answer. Yeah. So
it's one of them. Like, I've asked people that before, and they said to me like, who do you vote for? And I was like, I've never voted, and I don't know. And they're like, you have to vote. Like it's something you have to do. Yeah. But I don't care. Whoever wins the vote. Yeah, we live in. I don't read up enough about it.
Yeah, we live in an area where our voting is, where it's kind of almost like a wasted vote, because one party wins by a landslide every time. Yeah. It wins all the time by like 21,000 votes. So you're wasting. Can't be asked voting against it. Yeah. And whether I believe in them or not, whether it's them I'm voting for or the other party, it's pointless. Because it's just a wasted vote at the end of the day. So, yeah, politics is a pain in the ass. Yeah.
There are people that the other side is trying to destroy the country. We've always had a little friction between the parties when it comes to politics here in the United States, but nothing like what's going on to this day. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't care what political party you're from. Watch the news, and you'll notice, like, let's say the same congressman, you know, a handful of congressmen will get on media outlet, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a radio show, whether it's a cable news channel, or make a YouTube video. They have, like, the phrase of the week, and they use it, and they say it over and over and over until you start saying it. And it's both parties. Both parties will do this. And it creates friction because basically they're telling you what to think. When they're all saying it at the same time, you start to take it as fact. And it's just something they do. They get together and they come up with the phrase of the week. And like I said,
so you keep talking enough shit, you start to believe it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Both parties do it. No one's immune. Watch, next time there's some kind of issue with the other party, whichever, you know, one you follow, and all of a sudden the other party has an issue, you'll see the politicians from whatever side you're on say the same thing over and over and over for about a week or two. But the perceived political polarization and instability in the US, especially in recent years, may make Europeans wary of moving to a country with a political tension as high as we have here in the United States. The parties are so different from each other now, policies can fluctuate dramatically with the change of an administration. That scares a lot of people, especially if you're not from here and you realize it's just all a bunch of talk for the most part. Political climate got 144 votes. Number 3, immigration policies. Now, this one's going to seem a little strange, especially what we hear on the news these days about people just flooding in across the southern border and all that stuff. But this is more to do with the process of people trying to get in here legally. Changes in immigration policies, such as restrictions on visa programs and pathways to citizenships, may create uncertainty and make it more difficult for Europeans to navigate the immigration process. The amount of paperwork that's involved in this is insane. Now, it's pretty much that way for a lot of countries. I mean, no one's just got, fill out your name and your address and you're a citizen. There's always some hoops to go through in every country. But the United States, it's a little hard to navigate. I heard Canada's really hard to navigate too. But that'll keep a lot of people away. Especially what we got going on in this country right now. There's going to be policy changes.
Did you have to go through immigration when we went?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I did I?
Everyone goes through immigration or back border control, passport control type thing. You've got a US passport, so
exactly.
you're like in a different queue, sort of thing. So he said, what I do is I put your passport on the top, and I carry all the passports. So I put yours on the top, and so like show just yours, and then get pushed to that queue. And then when I get to the counter, I take my passport out.
I'll be like, I didn't know.
No, they normally they actually said to me last time. The guy on the counter said to me last time, if he's with you whenever you're traveling, just always come in this line.
Yeah, there you go.
So I was like, fair enough.
It's the only reason I was born in the USA, isn't it?
Yep. Left and right for the next few years, I guarantee. 210 people voted for immigration policies.
Wow.
Language barrier.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just saying it.
Like UK. Yeah. Scottish don't get it.
We're the only people that speak English.
2, language barriers. While English is widely spoken in the US, Europeans may still face challenges with accents, dialects, and language nuances that differ from what they're accustomed to, which could create communication barriers and feelings of isolation. Now, this is a big thing. We have some pretty serious shifts with the way we speak from state to state. South is very different from what you got going on in California. You could come here from Germany and go end up in a small town in Mississippi. They might actually look at someone from Mississippi and go, is this dude speaking English? What is going on here? Now, most Europeans do speak English. I shouldn't say most, but a higher rate than Americans speak other languages. So we do have a pretty serious language barrier for a lot of different people, and the dialects play a big part. I mean, I'm from California. I'm from a beach community, and some of the things I say on this channel, English-speaking people ask me what I'm talking about sometimes. But this one got more votes.
But don't you think, like, that American, like, the generic language accent in America is quite easy to understand?
Yeah, I think it's I mean,
like, there's like, if you come to England and try and listen to some accents, especially if it's not your first language, like Scouse or Birmingham, like that's Geordie, that's way more hard to understand.
Yeah, sometimes I remember once going up to Redcar.
But we'll be fine because we hear it a lot.
Yeah, but I went up to Redcar once, and this is pre like sat nav and all that sort of thing, and I had to ask for directions somewhere, and I asked this guy, and he said something to me, and I just went. And I looked at him and someone went, I had someone in the car and he went, which way did he say? I went, I have no idea what he said. I don't even know what language he was speaking. And I went, and that was the accent up there. They got a real strong accent. Yeah. It's like a Geordie accent sort of thing. And I was just like, I just couldn't get it. And I'm pretty good with accents, but the Newcastle accent sometimes can be really hard to understand.
Because it's probably the most like different, like
Yeah.
because like in Scouse and Brummie at least they pronounce the words the same
Yeah.
with just a different tone of like pitch.
Yeah.
Newcastle, they say the word completely different. Like they don't say book, they say book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very very hard to understand up there.
Yeah.
Votes than I really thought it would. I mean, I didn't think this was much of a big deal, but it showed up at number 2 with 325 votes. All right, before we get to number 1,
Cost of living.
Cost of living, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
don't forget we have another channel called The Sweet Life.
But at the same time, I don't know, because is America more expensive than Europe? But not all places. Like there's places you can go that are cheaper than Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
So it's about
probably,
travel and cruises and stuff like that. There's a link for that down below. All right, on to number 1.
What? People are so scared, man.
They're obsessed, aren't they?
I know, like they just see one movie and think I can never go there,
Yeah.
or they hear one news article.
And number 1, crime and gun violence. Yes, this is the biggest one. While gun ownership is common in some European countries, the prevalence of firearms and high rates of gun violence in the US, along with relatively relaxed gun laws in some states, can be alarming to a lot of Europeans who are not accustomed to this type of culture. Now, I'm not taking a stance on either side. I own firearms. I was in the military.
Yeah.
But we're talking about people from other countries coming to this country. And it is alarming to a lot of them, especially when they see the high rate of shootings we have and how often firearms are used in crimes. One guy said, in America, you go to get a pint and you may never see home again. I was like, that's kind of rough. Go to get a beer and someone's going to shoot you. I'm sure it happens, but it's not like an hourly occurrence here in the United States. But yeah, compared to a lot of other countries, we have a ton of gun violence and a lot of crimes. I mean, no place is immune from crimes. We just have ours on blast in the media and online and everything else like that. So it's really the perception that they have. How close it is to the reality of the situation, who knows? But we're talking about what they think. And they think the entire country is Southside Chicago, without really thick pizza. Gun violence got 443 votes.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Oh, he said it.
I mean, nothing. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of stuff. The only thing that would stop me from going somewhere would be safety. And I'm talking like, would I go to somewhere like at the moment Somalia or Haiti? People, I wouldn't at the moment. No. Doesn't mean I'd stop. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't rule it off.
You wouldn't like walk around the streets of the Dominican Republic gang you know what I mean? Like it's
don't do, people like us don't do that. It's leave that to the people who want to be in that gang crime and that.
That's what when it goes to gun violence. This thing, obviously, it can happen without any but I feel like you can always stay away from it more
if you've got something available to you, which is that could cause damage, like a gun or like poison or whatever it may be. If you can go to the shop here and buy poison like willy nilly, people be poisoned every day. You'd be hearing about, he's dead, died of poisoning. You'd hear it all the time. It's knife crime over here is out of control because everyone can access a knife.
Exactly, but no one's scared about that. No. Coming over to this place.
Yeah, nothing would stop me from going. And it's like, it's a lot of people, like you said there, about perception, going to a country. We've been around the world, and it's like there's nowhere I've gone and thought, oh, that's a, I'll look at my job and like, right,
everyone in America, when we went to America, they were more nice than people here in Europe.
Yeah. It's I don't think nothing would stop me from going to the USA or even any of the Americas. I don't think I probably wouldn't last long.
I think
El
South
Salvador
America is I think that's a place to visit for me, not a place to live.
What, like El Salvador?
No, that's Central America, isn't it? Like, I'm talking like Brazil.
Oh right, yeah. I don't mind. I've been to Argentina and Brazil a few times.
Yeah,
but it's great countries.
Yeah,
but
it is probably like.
I don't think I'd want to. I'm not sure I'd want to live there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah, depends what the job was and what I was doing there to actually go and live there.
Same with like South Americans are probably like, well, I could go and visit the US, but I wouldn't want to live there. Yeah. Or the same with England, I wouldn't want to live there. It's just what you grow up on, isn't it?
Yeah. But I was interested in that though, to see what people's perceptions are. But I don't think you can judge anyone until you've actually been. And then you can go, sort of thing. It's like people always say about British food.
Don't be scared of knife crime until you get shot.
Yeah, exactly. People always say British food's rubbish, and I'm like, what British food have you had? Yeah. That you're going out and you're saying British food's rubbish. What food? I can't find a British restaurant around here if I tried.
No. It's just pub food, isn't it? That's just British restaurants, just pubs.
Yeah,
like the Harvester and all that.
You're not going to eat at Harvester or anything like that.
Do, trust me, mate. No one's as posh as you.
It's not about being posh, just not going in one of them. It's shit.
No, it is true, yeah.
But you see, all the restaurants are like Italian or German, French, Spanish, American.
Why do you think they are?
Yeah, because
English food is shit.
Exactly. But like people say though, it's shit. Have you tried it? I can make you
Yeah,
an
they
English
probably
dish
just
tomorrow.
made their
It'd be
own
nice.
fish and chips
Yeah.
or something, or just tried fish and chips out in England.
That's why I'm not going to UK because the food's shit.
Yeah, I tell you what, your English restaurants are all the chippies.
Chippies, yeah, but they're not restaurants. They're
I
just
know,
takeaway.
yeah, they're takeaway, English takeaway. And they're usually Chinese chip shops. as well.
Chinese, yeah, that's it, yeah. It's not even English. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.